Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to this edition of MIAA Tournament Baseball here on ACTV. It's the Hope Flying Dutch versus the Calvin Knights here in game number 4 of the tournament. Robbie Alexander here, joined by my color commentator and colleague, Mr. Cody Alexander. We just saw Adrian punch their one-way ticket to the finals with a nail-biter of a win against the Alma Scots by a score of 5-4. So whoever wins this game will move on to play Alma at 5 o'clock today. Whoever loses has to pack their bags and their seasons are over. So we are set to start. Trevor Van Dyne on the mound. Evan Madej, center fielder, digs into the left-hander's batter's box. First pitch is just below the knees for ball 1, and we are set and ready to begin game number 4. Second pitch from Van Dyne, just a smidge inside, and Madej up in the count now. It's 2 balls and no strikes. 1 for 4 in yesterday's game against Alma. They had 2 runs scored. It's a little bloop in front of the shortstop. Keene charges, and a strong throw on to first for out number 1. Up now for Hope. It's the shortstop Jordan Fairchild. Was 3 for 5 in yesterday's game, 2 RBI and 1 run scored. First pitch from Van Dyne hits the outer black for strike 1. That one just can't find the plate outside. It's 1-1. Lining up defensively for the Calvin Knights. Marshall throwing down the signs behind home plate. Heindick at first base. Schellenberg at second. We have Padilla, yesterday's shortstop. He's at third. Fairchild hits that one into the gap. Big turn at first. But he'll hold and is aboard with a 1-out single here in the first inning. So they'll bring up the right fielder, Mason Opal. 1 for 4 yesterday. Also had an RBI to his name. Scored a run.
Top 3 hitters in the Hope lineup. All MIAA selections. I guess I could say all MIAA selections.
Van Dyne looks to Fairchild at first, but he's back in time.
The leadoff hitter, Madej, was the lone first-team selection for Hope. Fairchild and Opel both made second team, all 3 honored in the ceremony after the Adrian Alma game.
That one fouled back into the parking lot. Mason Opel quickly in the hole now, 0-2. Rest of the Calvin Knights defensive alignment. Padilla at third base. Jonathan Keene, as I said, yesterday's pitcher at shortstop. And in the outfield, left to right, it's Pena, Redfield, and Couperis. Warm day here at Nicolay Field. Partly cloudy, but rain looks to be holding off. One pitch to Oppo, fouled straight back. And now he's quickly in the hole, 0-2. I think I jumped the gun the last time. Thought there was an extra strike, but.
Well, the big sophomore outfielder hitting .312 on the year has driven in 34 runs, which leads this Hope baseball team. Has also scored 22 himself. 8 doubles, 1 triple, 5 home runs for a .489 slugging percentage.
He watches that one sail outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Hope right fielder.
Opel also had 29 conference RBI, which was second to Adrian's Hunter Hayes. Also recorded 50 total conference bases.
Ooh, and Van Dyne close pickoff move down there, but Fairchild just gets a hand in.
Fairchild is 4 for 4 in stolen base attempts this season. Has a moderate lead down there at first.
As Oppel fouls another one back, and this count stays alive at 1-2. Well, both teams lost their contest yesterday. That's why they're playing right now. Hope lost to Alma by a score of 10-8 in a back-and-forth game that saw 4 different lead changes. Meanwhile, Calvin dropped their game to Adrian, by a score of 9-2. And Oppel hits that one down the right field line, but it's going to find its way out of play. And Oppel putting up a battle here against Van Dyne.
Well, this Hope team can hit. There is no denying. Come in with a .313 team average, scoring 6.46 runs per game.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Mason Oppel. The pitch outside, even at 2. The 2-2 from Van Dyne. That one tapped. A line drive to the second baseman, Schellenberg. Fairchild will have to scamper back, but he's in time. So 2 outs now on the Hope Flying Dutch. Still a runner on first.
Just a curveball down and away. Nice job by Oppel, just getting a piece of that. And then a nice job on the other end with Fairchild taking 2 steps and freezing, realizing that that ball was hit right at the second baseman, Schellenberg.
So up now is the third baseman, Danny Carrasco, still looking for his first hit of the tournament. 0 for 4 in yesterday's contest. And a bender just misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Carrasco comes in with a solid .346, .416, .489 slash line. He's driven in 24 runs and scored 19 himself. 46 hits on the year already.
Now watch another curveball. This time finds the strike zone. It's 1-1. Another pickoff move to first. Fairchild back in time.
It's a nice little move there. Wasn't quite on the rubber.
One pitch from Van Dyne. Finds the strike zone. Fairchild a little bit of a bluff towards second, a running lead. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. They call time just as Van Dyne gets ready to throw. I know that's a pet peeve from some people, is sometimes how late time is called by the umpire. A lot of times pitchers will just throw the ball in no matter what, but some of them kind of choke it and hold it, and that's the times where people can get upset. A 1-2. Outside and all the way to the backstop. Fairchild is going to coast into second base. Count now 2-2 and a runner in scoring position.
Well, Van Dyne has taken the form of the Calvin Ace this year. The sophomore righty has a 4-4 record in 11 starts this year, 15 total appearances. He also has 3 saves in 3 complete games in 71 1/3 innings pitched. He owns a 3.28 ERA, 58 strikeouts to only 13 walks.
Very effective pitcher. He's going to be on his A game today if he wants Calvin to go any further in the tournament. Foul ball by Carrasco. Count stays the same, 2-2.
Wind like the first game, blowing out to right field.
And he hits that one into right field, but it's going to be foul on the first base side. Still 2-2. Yeah, like you were saying, Cody, in game number 1, there are definitely some pop-ups and fly balls that saw the defenders having to take some interesting routes to make sure they secured them in the glove. The pickoff moved to second. Close play, but Fairchild back. Schellenberg laying his body on the line, trying to get that third out.
The throw right on the bag, just not quite in time.
Still 2-2 on Danny Carrasco. Pitch from Van Dyne. And he rings them up looking, stood there like a house on the side of the road, as Ernie Harwell used to say. Carrasco doesn't agree with the call, but nonetheless, Hope leaves a man on, and we'll head to the bottom of inning number 1, still scoreless. Keep it tuned right here to MIAA Tournament Baseball on ACTV. Welcome back to game number 4 of the MIAA tournament. Bottom of the first inning. Still scoreless. Calvin against Hope. As Connor Grimes toes the rubber. We're ready to start the bottom half of this inning. Designated hitter Nate Deswan up to bat. First pitch from Connor Grimes. Fouled off of the mask. No balls and 1 strike. Deswan yesterday 0 for 4, had 3 strikeouts, so looking for a big game here. So he takes that pitch from Grimes and sends it deep into center field, and that's going to fall in front of Madej for a base hit. And the Knights have their leadoff man aboard.
Well, Grimes comes into today's contest with a 2-1 record and 7 starts. He's only pitched 35 1/3 innings, has struck out 15 batters, walked 11, and owns a 5.86 ERA. It's interesting to look at. There's actually no Hope pitcher that has pitched over 40 innings this year.
And that hit by Padilla goes right up the box in the center field, and the Knights have something cooking. 2 on, nobody out. Not the way Grimes and the Dutch want to start this game.
Pitching actually one of the weak spots for the Flying Dutch program this year. The entire staff collectively has a 6.61 ERA. And only one pitcher has thrown a complete game this year. That was Sean Hoey against Albion earlier in the year.
Correct me if I'm mistaken, but I believe he pitched yesterday.
He did pitch yesterday in the first game against Alma.
So the Flying Dutch pitching staff will have to step up if they want to continue in this tournament. Grimes throws a first pitch strike to the shortstop, Jonathan Keene. Keene 1 for 4 in yesterday's contest, scored a run. Another curveball in there. And Keene quickly in the hole now, 0-2. Payoff pitch from Grimes outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lining up defensively for Hope. Slancic calling the signs behind the plate. Brower at first base. Kim at second. Carrasco and Fairchild make up the left side of the infield. And in the outfield, left to right, it's Sojka, Madej, and Oppel. It's a ground ball. Diving attempt by Carrasco, but it's off his glove, and that's going to trickle into the outfield. As DeZuan scores easily, RBI single for Jonathan Keene, and the Knights take an early 1-0 lead.
It's a nice effort by Carrasco, but Fairchild actually right behind him, ready to field that ball, so probably would have been a better move just to let that one get through and have the shortstop make the play.
3 straight hits for Calvin to start this ball game. A little bit of a miscue there for Hope, and they suddenly find themselves down early. Up now for the Knights, it's the left fielder Ryan Pena as he hits that one into right field. Caught by Oppel. Padilla will hold at third base as it was not deep enough, so still runners on the corners, now with 1 out. Digging into the left-hander's batter's box, that's going to be the first baseman, Quinn Heindick. Heindick 2 for 4 in yesterday's game against Adrian. Throw over to first just to keep Keene honest over there.
Now these two teams had their regular season matchup back in March. It was actually their first conference matchups, respectively, for each of them. And they were pretty evenly matched then. Split both the doubleheaders on Saturday the 24th at Hope. Calvin lost the first game 1-0, came back, won 3-1. And then that Monday when they were at home, they lost 10-2 and then won 6-2.
Heindick sends a fly ball into left field. Fairchild, nice range. He goes into shallow left. Will make the catch for out number 2, and runners have to hold.
Fairchild shows off his speed and range there. Like you said, Robbie, that pop-up did not have a lot of hang time on it, but he was able to camp under it pretty quickly and put it away.
So 2 down. That's going to bring up center fielder Bo Redfield. 1 for 4 yesterday. And a soft throw over to first base, just to let Keene know, hey, I'm over here. I'm not going to forget about you.
It's one way to put it.
There's a ground ball through the right side hole, a base hit. Padilla's going to score easily. Keene hits the bag at second, headed from third. Throw from Oppel, not in time. Redfield takes second on the throw. RBI single. And the Knights have 2 men in scoring position with 2 outs.
Nice job by Redfield just using that right side hole. And Calvin just putting it to Grimes here in the first inning. A lot of hard hit balls. That one not as hard hit as we saw earlier in the inning. but hit with just enough mustard to sneak it by Brower down there at first.
So up now is the catcher Logan Marshall. Fouls that curveball off for a quick strike.
Nice job by Redfield too, moving up on that throw in the third.
Good base running awareness by these Knights. Another one fouled back, this one into the padding. Marshall quickly down in the count now, it's 0-2. Payoff pitch from Grimes. Just above the letters, and first base umpire Arthur Castillo says that Marshall was able to hold up, so the count goes to 1-2. Keen on third, Redfield on second. The pitch. Fouls that one off. Slancic not able to squeeze it, and he stays alive. A 1-2 pitch. Fouls that one into the Hope dugout. Hit the deck. And a bird even flew out of there. It was so scared.
Yeah, these dugouts here at Nicolay Field don't have covering that protects the entire dugout, so you have to look alive down there.
Looks like everybody's okay, though. Grimes not able to snap that one off. Count even now, 2-2. The pitch, another curveball. This one skied high into shallow center field. Mayday will haul it in for out number 3, but not before the Knights score 2 runs on 4 hits. And they'll take a 2-0 lead into the top of inning number 2. Keep it tuned right here for MIAA Tournament Baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to game number 4, top of inning number 2. And the Knights have an early 2-0 lead. 5, 6, 7 due up for Hope, starting with the catcher Trey Slancic. Slancic 2 for 3 in yesterday's contest. Trevor Van Dyne gets back to work. First pitch. Right into the letters, and Slancic is aboard with a leadoff hit by pitch. That will bring up the left fielder Jonathan Sojka. Sojka 2 for 5 yesterday, 2 runs scored. First pitch, fastball outside, 1-0.
Now, it's never fun being hit by a pitch, but I feel like it's especially irritating for catchers getting nicked up behind the plate. They take the gear up, just want to go up and swing, and what do you know, they get hit again with a ball.
A little bit of a wake-up call that you weren't asking for. 1 ball and 1 strike on Sochka. The pitch from Van Dyne, ground ball right back up the middle and through for a base hit. So the Dutch have something brewing in response. 2 men on with nobody out. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Landon Brower. Excuse me, the designated hitter, Cal Barrett, getting him ahead of myself there.
First time through the Hope order for us as well, so.
2 years on the call at Adrian College. We've never gotten a chance to call a Hope series for numerous reasons, so I'm excited. I've been waiting to call a Hope game. 0-1 on Barrett. Pinch hit yesterday was 0 for 2, but had an RBI. Takes a close strike right there. It's in the hole now, 0-2.
Little curveball on the outer half of the plate. I think Barrett thought that it might have been a tick low.
Nonetheless, home plate umpire Tim Farwig on the call. That heater hangs high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the offering. Late action on that one, but doesn't manage to hit the corner. It's 2-2.
Barrett comes into this game 13 for 55, has driven in 14 runs.
And he's rung up on that bender right there. Strike 3, second strikeout of the day for Van Dyne. There's now 1 out on the Flying Dutch. So if you rewind to what I said about 3 minutes ago, it's the first baseman Landon Brower up to bat. Checks his swing, but across the plane for strike 1. Brower 3 for 4 yesterday, 2 RBI and a run scored. As we said, a high-scoring game between Hope and Alma as Brower fouls that one back, quickly down in the count now, 0-2. Payoff pitch from Van Dyne, just a smidge outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, this is a team that is not going to chase out of the zone much. 2 strikeouts today, but both looking. They have actually drawn 141 walks so far this season, so very disciplined up there at the dish.
And another close pitch right there. Bauer able to hold off, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on number 22. Pitch outside, and he runs the count full, 3-2.
Big hole there on the right side with second baseman Schellenberg shading towards second.
3-2 pitch. And he goes fishing, but there's nothing in the pond. Strikeout number 3 for Van Dyne, and now 2 down for the Flying Dutch. So up now is the number 9 hitter, Brant Kim. His first chance of the day. 1 for 4 yesterday with an RBI. He's looking for a 2-out one right now. Runners on first and second. That first pitch from Van Dyne Four-seamer just below the knees for ball one.
The second inning really working that lower outer part of the plate.
Another one low and outside, and he's up in the count now. 2 balls and no strikes. So the sun's starting to peek through the clouds here again. The 2-0 offering. Chops that one foul down the third base side. Two-one pitch from Van Dyne. Hard ground ball over to the right side and past the diving Schellenberg for a base hit. Slancic's going to score easily. Sojic holds up at third base, and it's a 2-out RBI single for the number 9 hitter Brant Kim, and they cut the lead in half. It's 2-1.
Yeah, nice attempt by Schellenberg over at second base. Looked like he hauled it in for a second, but unable to grab it cleanly.
We head back to the top of the Hope lineup. It's number 1, Evan Mayday. Grounded out to shortstop his first time up. First pitch, can't snap off that off speed. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch from Van Dyne, low and outside. This one a four-seamer, 2 balls and no strikes.
Like we said earlier, Mayday was a first-team All-MIAA selection. He leads Hope with 58 hits, 38 runs scored, and a .379 batting average coming into today.
And just to put this curveball in there for a strike.
He also has 20 runs batted in, 8 doubles, 5 triples, and 2 home runs. That's good for a .432 on-base percentage and a .536 slugging percentage.
Fooled right there on that off speed. Count even at 2. So there's a reason that he's the table setter for the Flying Dutch.
Also 17 for 20 in stolen base attempts, including 13 conference steals.
On high is Kim, uncontested, takes second base. And the Dutch now have 2 men in scoring position here with 2 outs. Another off speed, and this one outside for ball 4, so the Dutch have the bases loaded with 2 outs. Three ducks in the pond. And it's the shortstop Jordan Fairchild trying to bring them in. Peter outside for ball 1.
Fairchild's second team All-MIAA at shortstop. He's got 44 hits on the year, 27 runs batted in.
There's a strike that finds the outer black, 1-1.
Comes in hitting .336 on the year.
Watches another four-seamer go by, and he's now in the hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jordan Fairchild. One ball, 2 strikes. Pitch from Van Dyne. It's a high pop-up on the third base side. It stays in, and a nice catch there by Padilla to end the inning. So the Flying Dutch load the bases, can't bring them in, but they cut into the lead. It's 1-2. Calvin We'll head to the bottom of the second inning. Keep it tuned right here to more MIAA baseball on ACTV. Bottom of the second here at Nicolay Field, 2-1 Calvin lead. It's the number 8 hitter Sam Schellenberg set to lead things off. First pitch from Connor Grimes, misses outside, 1-0. Schellenberg, believe this is his first at-bat of the tournament. Came in as a defensive replacement yesterday, but didn't actually see action at the plate. 2-0 pitch from Grimes. Just outside. 3 balls, no strikes.
The sophomore is 10 for 40 on the year. 2 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs. That's good for a .500 slugging percentage. He's also driven in 8 runs and scored 8 himself.
So making the most of his opportunities when he's in there. That strike at the belt, 3-1 on Schellenberg. That one just misses. Schellenberg aboard with the leadoff walk. So that'll bring up the right fielder, Miles Couperis. 0 for 3 in yesterday's contest. First pitch from Grimes, curveball in there for strike 1. A soft pickoff throw to first.
Couperis hitting .262 on the year.
Shows bunt, pulls back, snap throw to first. Schellenberg back in time.
Couperis lucky he didn't take a couple more steps out of the box with that throw down to first. Could have been called for batter's interference.
A little bit of a running lead on that bunt. One ball, one strike on the right fielder. The pitch shows bunt again, gets this one down the third base side. Carrasco charges. We'll get the easy out at first base. Schellenberg moves up to second, and the Knights have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Head back to the top of the Calvin lineup. It's the designated hitter, Nate Deswan. Leadoff single his first time up, would later come around to score the first run of the ball game. First pitch. Corners drawn back for Hope. Deswan skies one foul off towards 223. Another fastball, this time in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Dezwan. Schellenberg gets his lead at second, and Dezwan hits that one up the middle for a base hit. MIAA comes up with it, will throw it in, so Schellenberg holds at third. And the Knights have runners on the corners, still only 1 out. That was the third pitch on the inner half of the plate. We saw Dezwan foul the first one off. That one pulls his hands in nicely and hits it right back up the box for a second hit to center field today. So with an RBI opportunity now, it's the third baseman, Ricky Padilla. Singled his first time up, also came around to score. He watches a first pitch fastball high. It's 1-0. Hard foul down the third base side. One pitch. There's a high fly ball into center field. MIAA tracks it, makes the catch. Schellenberg tags, but will hold at third on the strong throw from MIAA. They're now 2 down on the Knights, and still runners on the corners. Not quite deep enough. Had a possible opportunity to score him. It looked like it might have been deep enough off the bat, but with the 3-hitter Keenup, you don't want to take a chance, especially this early in the game. So I'll bring up shortstop Jonathan Keene, RBI single his first time up. First pitch from Grimes. High, Bender. It's 1-0. Grimes checks his one at first. The pitch. Fastball hangs a little too high. 2 balls and no strikes. Good crowd for either side. Still nobody out on the hill, though, as a ground ball from Keene over to the shortstop. Long throw from Fairchild, though he'll get the out. Knights strand 2. We'll head to the top of the third inning, still 2-1. Once you touch that clicker, we'll be right back with more MIAA tournament baseball on ACTV. Three, 4, 5 due up for Hope here in the top of the third inning. 2-1 Calvin lead. As we let Cody finish stuffing his face, Van Dyne retakes the rubber. First pitch to Mason Oppel is low for ball 1.
You didn't have me turned up. They have a nice spread for the guys in the booth. When we're calling 3 games today, you got to stay fueled.
It is good. Thought we were supposed to, the agreement was finish it before the game, though.
I was prepping my notes for this game.
A true champion in the booth, Cody Alexander. Fastball runs in on Oppel, and the count is quickly 3-0.
You know, when I was looking up the Hope stats last night for this game, and I saw Oppel's power numbers, I didn't quite think that he would be this big of a guy. He's pretty big for a sophomore.
Definitely going to be fun to watch him the next couple of years if you're a Hope fan. Oppel thought he had ball 4, but Farwig calls him back into the box.
It's no wonder now that why he's the biggest Hope power threat.
He lined out to the second baseman, Schellenberg, his first time up. So definitely it was not cheated there.
I was hoping to find how tall he is on his player profile, but they don't have that information.
I'm going to say at least 6'2". Maybe even 6'3".
At least?
Or at most. I'm going to say in that range. 6'2 to 6'3".
I would say 6'3". Maybe around 210. He's just a big guy.
And he takes that one the other way, and it's going to fall in front of Couperus for a base hit. Leadoff man aboard for the second inning in a row. So up now is the third baseman, Danny Carrasco. Struck out looking his first time up to end the first. First pitch from Van Dyne. Curveball in there for strike 1. It's a high fly ball. That one's into right field. Couperus a few steps back as it gets caught up in the wind, but he'll haul it in for out number 1. Like we talked about, that wind definitely going to be a factor in today's games.
Yeah, it looked like he had a beat on it right off the bat, but the last second had to take 5 or 6 steps behind.
So 1 out. That's going to bring up the catcher, Trace Slancic. Hit by pitch his first time up. Scored the lone run for Hope so far.
Well, Hope and Calvin actually finished with a 14-14 conference record. The both of them did. But Hope was able to capture the 3 seed in this tournament because of the tiebreaker, which was victories against the number 1 seeded team. And they accomplished that by sweeping Adrian at home on Saturday. And in game 1, the man at the plate actually hit a 2-out, 2-run walk-off home run. So Slancic, a hero and a reason why they got the better seed in this tournament. That actually followed a game-tying 2-run home run by the man at first base, Oppel, 2 batters prior.
2 big hitters for this Flying Dutch lineup. Oppel off for second base. That one foul. Off to return back to first. 2 balls, 1 strike on Trace Slancic. Breeze shifting just a little bit. Feel it in the press box now.
It's not that cold breeze that we've become accustomed to.
That's a
after
nice,
that long winter, though. It's a nice breeze.
Nice, pleasant breeze. However, tomorrow's forecast does not sound pleasant at all. I believe high of 49 degrees, which is just brutal.
especially
A little
because
rude.
I knew it was going to be cold. I didn't know it was going to be that cold, and I did not pack accordingly before we came down here. I did not bring my winter jacket.
I didn't even think of that. We're going to be a little chilly tomorrow in these games as Slancic hits that one up the middle for a base hit. Oppo will hit second. And the Hope Flying Dutchmen on first and second with one out. It's going to bring up the left fielder Jonathan Sojka, singled his first time up. Pitch from Van Dyne hits the outside corner for strike one. Fifth hit of the day for Hope. Is that heater outside for ball one?
Sojka coming into today only 26 at-bats on the year, but he does have 12 hits.
These Hope hitters very patient so far, as home plate umpire Tim Farwig showing that he's got a tight strike zone. The 2-1 outside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
It'll be wise of them to keep that patient approach against Calvin, who has, as a staff, 133 walks on the year. So they have had trouble in 2018 consistently finding the strike zone.
3-1. In there, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Sojka. Oppo on second base, Slancic on first. Pitch from Van Dyne. Hits that one into left field. Pena giving chase and will make the catch for out number 2. Oppo will hold that second. Hope now has to look for a 2-out opportunity for an RBI. So bring up designated hitter Cal Barrett. Struck out looking his first time up. 1 of 3 for Van Dyne. Curveball in there for strike one. Van Dyne throwing a lot of first pitch breaking balls so far.
He's doing a fairly good job of getting ahead of hitters early with first and second pitches. It's just a matter of staying ahead in the count.
And Barrett hits that one into right field. Couperis ranges back a little to make the catch. So once again, Hope gets a few on but can't drive them in. And Calvin hangs on to that 2-1 lead. We'll head to the bottom of the third. We'll be back with more MIAA tournament action on ACTV. Bottom of the third inning here at Nicolay Field, 2-1 Calvin lead. It's the fielder Ryan Pena up to bat.
You looked a little panicked there, Robbie. Is everything okay?
I forgot to flip my score sheet, and I have a habit on my score sheet to forget to record the final out. So I want to make sure I saw his number before I called it.
All right.
But I've got you, Ryan. I know who you are. He's up in the count right now. 2 balls and no strikes. He fouls that one back into the padding. 2-1. Grimes has worked himself into a couple jams, but so far doing a pretty nice job getting out of them. Pena hits that one into center field. Mayday has it tracked and will make the catch for out 1. That'll bring up first baseman Quinn Heindick. Popped out to the shortstop his first time up today. We saw Fairchild show some nice range on the play. And we have a fan on the hill. Finally, somebody saw the prime opportunity on that real estate. They get a bird's eye view as Heindick rolls that one over to Kim for a quick out number 2. Up now is the center fielder Bo Redfield. RBI single his first time up. Would later be stranded at second. As the next batter, Logan Marshall, would fly out to end the inning. Shows bunt. The pitch stays high, 1-0. Now the hill out in center field. For those of you who don't know, quite a hot spot when school is in session here at Adrian College, especially on the famous Couch Day, which happens to be whatever game is the weekend before finals week. And what happens is everybody takes their couch out to the hill, and basically they just have a little party while they watch the baseball game. So it's a good time. A lot of memories made out on the hill, but everybody's home for summer, so we've got a lone soul out there having a party of one.
I know I've watched one game out there. It wasn't even actually a real game. It was a scrimmage for the club team. It was at the day after Couch Day this year. There was still a few stray couches, so I went and had a seat before the softball games. And I got to say, the vantage point is magnificent, especially if there's a game going on at the Nick and over at the Little Nick at the softball field. You can basically watch 2 games at once if you want to.
Like I said, prime piece of real estate. And kudos to you out on center field for finding that seat. As Redfield hits a pop-up into shallow right field. Oppo will come in to make the final catch. So the Knights go down in short order, but retain a 2-1 lead, and we'll head to the top of the 4th to see how Hope responds. We'll be right back with more MIAA baseball here on ACTV. 8-9, 1 due up for Hope here to start inning number 4. And he'll take a ball low. That's number 22, Landon Brower, who struck out his first time up. And that one right through the left side hole. A line drive single to start the inning. Hope doing a good job hitting the ball where it's pitched today, and that's exactly what Landon Brower did. I'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Brant Kim. First pitch from Van Dyne. Curveball in there for strike 1.
Van Dyne doing a great job so far of keeping this hard-hitting Hope team off the board, but it has come at a price. That was pitch number 74 already on the afternoon for the Calvin pitchers, so we'll see how the Knights proceed with their staff as this game progresses.
Big cut there by Brant Kim, and he's now in a hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But you're right, Cody. When a do-or-die game like this, it's interesting to see just how far the pitchers will go. 1-2. Outside pitch, tapped down the third base line, but that's going to be foul.
And if you're Calvin, right here, what you'd want is a quick double play and then a low pitch at bat to keep his pitch count down going into the 5th inning.
Hope 6 hits on the afternoon so far, but only that lone run stands on the board. That one fouled straight back into the parking lot. No car alarms, so
it's a good sign.
Everybody's safe for now.
That's where we're parked today.
Yeah, we parked dangerously close, so kind of scared to see our car at the end of the night. That one hard down the third base line. Nice diving attempt by Padilla, but it's going to roll foul. At least into foul territory, and it's a hard infield single by Brant Kim.
Yeah, it looks like that one hit the heel of his glove, not able to corral it in. So a nice effort, but unable to come up with it.
Both Calvin and Hope really laying their bodies on the line today. I think I've said it once already, but it's probably the 5th diving play that we've seen so far.
These elimination games are going to bring out the best of your players.
We head back to the top of the Flying Dutch lineup. It's the center fielder, Evan Mayday. 0 for 1 with a ground out, walked his last time up. First pitch, 4-seam high for ball 1. First baseman Heindick playing in front of the runner. There's a ground ball up the box and past the diving Schellenberg for a base hit. Appel's gonna score, excuse me, not Appel. Brower's gonna score. Looked at the wrong line, and Hope ties this game up. It's now 2-2 with runners on the corner, still nobody out.
Mayday hits that ball in the perfect spot. Schellenberg playing over with the lefty up to bat and just out of the reach of his glove.
Potential go-ahead run 90 feet away now. That's the shortstop Jordan Fairchild up to bat. 1 for 2 with a single and a pop out to the third baseman. And he shows bunt, but will foul it back. Van Dyne and the Knights find themselves in a bit of a pickle here.
That ball coming up and in on Fairchild. Looks like he was trying to drop it down the third baseline the way he went after it.
0-1 pitch from Van Dyne, runner off, and now it's up through the left hole, tongue-tied right there. Kim comes in to score, throw to third, not in time. Hope with a 3-2 lead on the RBI single. from Jordan Fairchild.
The day off on that pitch. And Keene took 2 steps towards the bag because of that. Left a little bit of a larger hold for Fairchild to put that ball into left field and give the Hope Flying Dutch their first lead of the day.
Still runners on the corner, still nobody out. It's their number 3 hitter, Mason Oppel, up to bat. Watches off speed in there for strike 1. Oppel a single his last time up. Also lined out to the second baseman, so both his at-bats have ended in hard hit balls. That one low off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oppel's toes right on the line on the box. Bender in there. Fairchild takes second uncontested. And Hope now 2 men in scoring position, still no outs.
Well, Oppel has shown off his plate coverage today. Has taken 2 tough outside pitches and served them up to the right side. First one a line drive on a tough breaking ball down and away right into the second baseman's glove. Second time able to punch it into right field.
And this time he puts a charge into this one. This is into center field. Right field track wall makes it up against the fence. Mayday will score easily. Fairchild moves up to third. And Hope now extends the lead 4-2 with only 1 out. So digging into the batter's box now, third baseman Danny Carrasco, 0 for 2 so far. Struck out looking, also flew out to right field. And they wanted to pull the trigger right there, but can and take strike 1.
Up the middle, playing even in the baseline. Going to try to cut this runner off, but
instead it's over the first baseman Heindick's head. Fairchild will score easily. Carrasco on his way to second. RBI double, and it's 5-2 Flying Dutch. These Hope batters have finally found their swing, and it's hot right now.
Well, they've had patient at-bats all day and have made some pretty solid contact. It was just a matter of getting a string of hits together, which they have finally accomplished. 4 runs so far here in the top of the 4th inning.
And that was the Flying Dutch's 10th hit of the day so far. And they'll look to keep adding here. It's a ground ball foul down the third base side by the catcher Trace Slancic. 1 for 1 so far today. Singled his last time up. Also was hit by a pitch and would later score. So not the way Van Dyne wanted this inning to go, especially he already had a high pitch count as Slancic hits that one into right field. Couperis towards the line, and he'll make the catch up against the fence for out number 2. Carrasco moves up to third. Here with 2 outs now, potential extra run 90 feet away. You heard PA announcer Dave Van Giesen say it. It's the left fielder Jonathan Sojka looking for an RBI right here. 1 for 2 so far today. Hard foul down the third base line as Carrasco had to dance out of the way of that one. And Dine up on Sochka. No balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch. And he hits that one into left field. Pena running in on it, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. But not before Hope scores 4 runs to take the lead. They now lead 5-2 as we head to the bottom of inning number 4. We'll see how Calvin responds right here on ACTV. Seven, 8, 9 due up for Calvin. Now trail the Hope Flying Dutch by a score of 5-2. And a first pitch ball to the catcher Logan Marshall. Cody stepped out of the booth for a second, said he had to run down to the concession stands, was looking for a cup of bugs, said they were a delicacy. We'll let him try to find them. Don't think they serve them here. As Marshall pops that one out to the third baseman Carrasco for out number 1. That'll bring up the second baseman, Sam Schellenberg. Singled his first time up, was later stranded over at third base. 5 hits on the day so far for the Knights, 2 runs. That one fouled back into the parking lot. No flinches up in the press box, though, as we've all had pretty steely nerves through the tournament thus far. Except I think Assistant SID Director Corey Graham, I predict a few flinches out of him. Another foul ball. This one off towards the back 40 practice fields on the right side. Schellenberg quickly in the hole now, 0-2. Payoff pitch from Grimes, just a bit low. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball, and he'll sky a fly into left field. Shallow, Bermuda Triangle forming. And Fairchild with a basket catch for out number 2. A little bit of a juggling act. And Cody Alexander has just rejoined us in the booth. Cody, did you find that cup of bugs?
No, but I found a nice catch by Fairchild, turning himself around a couple times before making the over-the-shoulder basket catch to haul it in.
First pitch ball to the right fielder, Miles Couperis. Sacrifice bunt his first time up. And a foul ball right there. Count even at 1-1. Pitch from Grimes. Another curveball. This one finds the outer half of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Miles Couperis. Payoff pitch. Fouls that one on the left side. Carrasco looking, but it will find some grass out of the stadium. There's that breeze we were talking about.
I think that's the strongest gust we've gotten in the press box so far this tournament.
Clouds rolling in, but still peaks of sunshine. Be the trend through the afternoon as Paris went fishing, but nothing in the pond right there. First strikeout of the day for Grimes, and we'll head to the top of inning number 5. 5-2 Hope lead. And don't you swipe away from this YouTube channel, because we'll be right back with more MIAA tournament action on ACTV. Welcome back to game number 4 of the 2018 MIAA baseball tournament. It's the Hope Flying Dutch versus the Calvin Knights. Hope with a 5-2 advantage right now. If you're just joining us, Robbie Alexander here with my colleague Cody Alexander. 7-8-9 due up for the Hope Flying Dutch, starting with designated hitter Cal Barrett, who struck out looking his first time up. So a high pop-up on the infield. Marshall and Van Dyne both converging, and Marshall will be the one to make the catch for out number 1.
That was Van Dyne's 95th pitch of the afternoon. 61 of those have been strikes, but only in the 5th inning. So we will see within the next 2 innings, I'm assuming, how Calvin will manage its bullpen throughout the remainder of the game.
Van Dyne ran into some trouble in the last inning. That's where Hope scored 4 of their 5 runs, where they took the lead. We'll see if they can do more damage right here as that curveball falls low. 1-1 on the first baseman, Landon Brower. Brower 1 for 2 so far. A strikeout and a single. There's a ground ball deep in the hole. Schellenberg has it. Long throw and a nice stretch from Heindick to complete it. 2 outs now on Hope. That brings up second baseman Brant Kim. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles so far. Scored in the last inning. First pitch from Van Dyne at the knees for strike 1. This one skids across the turf. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, should he keep this inning alive, that'd take us back to the top of the lineup, starting with the center fielder, Evan Mayday. This one just a bit outside, says home plate umpire Tim Farwig. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Pitch from Van Dyne. That one hits the black. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Couple of groans from the Hope side. The life of an umpire, you're never going to please the parents.
Really not going to please anybody.
No. Ground ball over to Schellenberg. Routine. 1-2-3 inning for Van Dyne. Just what Calvin and the Knights wanted to see. We'll head to the bottom of inning number 5. They still trail by 3, 5-2. We'll see if they can stage a comeback here and now. Keep it tuned to ACTV. Top of the order due up for the Knights. His designated hitter Nate DeZwan steps in. 2 for 2 so far today with 2 singles. Scored the first run of the ball game. As Grimes gets back to work. First pitch low and inside for ball 1. Hard line drive, but foul down the first base side. The 1-1 pitch from Connor Grimes. Curveball in there for strike 2.
This will be Grimes' 60th pitch of the afternoon.
That one's above the letters to DeZwan, even at 2 now. The Knights have not scored since the first inning as DeZwan caught looking right there. Went window shopping, but apparently nothing caught his eye, and there's 1 down.
A nice mix of curveballs in that at bat. DeZwan swinging mostly fastball, just unable to pull the trigger on that little breaking ball there on the outer part of the plate.
Grimes' second strikeout of the day, and it's actually 2 in a row. As the third baseman Ricky Padilla fouls that one off, 0-1. That one right back up the box for a base hit. Scorched by Ricky Padilla, second single of the afternoon, and the Knights have a man aboard with 1 out. So up now is the shortstop Jonathan Keene. RBI single his first time up, grounded out to the shortstop Fairchild last time. Grimes readjusts the jersey. First pitch to Keene. That one graces the letters. So the Knights now have 2 men aboard with 1 out. And I think if you're going to be hit by a pitch, you want to be hit by a pitch like Keene was. Just a nice little love tap on the back. So up now is the left fielder Ryan Pena, 0 for 2 so far with 2 flyouts. And a chance to put his team back in the game down by 3. Big cut there, fooled by off speed, 0-1. A 1 from Grimes. That one fouled off towards the Calvin dugout. It looks like it made it inside, so both teams have gotten a little Mayday present. Well, Mother's Day is this weekend. Perhaps they would like to give the mothers out there a nice baseball present as
Memento.
Pena, soft roller over to first base for out number 2. Runners move up. So they are now on second and third.
Looked like Brower had an opportunity to at least get the force out at second. The way he was motioning to Fairchild, I think he thought that he didn't have the best throwing lane, instead opting to take the safe out at first.
Well, with a 3-run lead right now, nothing wrong with that. Rather take this safe out than try to push something that's not there. 2 outs now, and it's the first baseman Quinn Heindick up to bat. Curveball just misses outside, 1-0. Heindick 0 for 2 so far. A pop out his first time up. Grounded out to second last time. 1-0 from Grimes. That one down the line. Is it going to stay fair? Just foul, but it had the distance.
The one hop the hitting facility out there.
And that is not an easy task. The Frank and Shirley Dick Baseball and Softball Practice Facility. Definitely a saving grace for the Adrian College baseball and softball programs for winter practices. Heindick rolls over on that one. Kim ranges to his left. Stretch at first, but not in time as Padilla comes in to score. This game is now 5-3.
Nice try by Kim, just shaded over a little too far with the left-handed hitting Heindick. And unable to get the throw off quick enough to nab him.
Runners on the corners now, still 2 outs. It's the center fielder Bo Redfield up to bat. 1 for 2 so far. Flew out his last time to right field, but had an RBI single his first time up. And this one again to right field. Oppel to the wall, but it's going to fall foul. Long strike number 1. Jonathan Keene on third base. Quinn Heindick over at first. Soft pickoff move to first, nothing doing. Oh, 1 pitch. Soft tapper over to shortstop. Fairchild runs in a routine out number 3, but a little bit of flair on the end. So Calvin gets 1 back. They now trail by 2. It's 5-3 as we head into the top of inning number 6 here in game 4. Remember, this is elimination time. Rules are simple. You win, you move on. You lose, and you pack your bags. We'll see how this game continues to unfold. Keep it right here on ACTV. Top of inning number 6 here in the MIAA tournament. Game number 4, first elimination game of the series between Hope and Calvin. Hope currently with the 5-3 advantage. So leadoff man Evan Mayday smokes a ground ball to Heindick, but he'll scoop it up and tag first for out number 1. I'll bring up shortstop Jordan Fairchild. 2 for 3 so far, 2 singles, including an RBI, a run scored. Popped out to third base and also has a couple of nice defensive plays so far.
Nice defensive play here up in the booth. Another big gust of wind almost took Robbie's position charts out on the field.
That would not have been good on my part. I think these days are more dangerous for gusts because when it's windy, you weigh everything down with paperweights. But I'm not expecting gusts, so they're just kind of free forming, and all of a sudden the wind picks it up. And it's like Aladdin, a magic carpet ride via the white sheet of paper. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the shortstop Fairchild.
Sounds like you're just making excuses now for not having your paper secured.
I have quick enough reflexes, as we just saw. Sign me up. I need to be out in the field. I'm just kidding. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Fairchild. There's a good reason I'm up in the booth, and it's because I'm not good enough to be on the fields. That one, ground ball over to Padilla. Strong throw for out number 2. So I'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Mason Oppel. 1 for 3 so far today, but all 3 balls have been hard hit. Line out to the second baseman his first time up, singled second time up. His last time up, an RBI fly out to the center fielder right in front of the wall. First pitch from Van Dyne, low and away for ball 1. This one a curveball in there. 1 ball and 1 strike on Oppel. Well, should he keep the inning going, that'd bring up the third baseman, Danny Carrasco. This one fouled off towards the fence on the third base side. Payoff pitch into the thigh of Oppel. But the home plate umpire, Tim Farwig, says he did not attempt to get out of the way, so he'll call him back. Hope fans not happy about that. That's not something you see very often in college, and you and me have seen it twice so far this year, where a player gets hit. It was not going to be a ball. He didn't lean into it, but the umpire said he didn't make enough of an attempt, and instead he calls him back into the box.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily a huge fan of that rule. In my opinion, I think the batter should have ownership of the batter's box, and as long as he's not leaning over the plate or leaning back to a pitch behind him, he should be able to just stand there and take the pitch.
Nonetheless, Oppel will take care of it himself. Looked like he was going to get through the hole, but a nice play by Keene. Hard throw as he'll lollipop it over. Oppel with a dive just to make sure. So he gets on base either way with 2 outs.
Just had to do a little more running that time.
It looks like this might be it for Van Dyne, and it is. They'll signal to the bullpen. We'll give this new mystery pitcher a chance to warm up, get on the field. We'll find out who he is, where he's from, and what he's about. We'll be right back with more MIAA Tournament Baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to game number 4 of the MIAA baseball tournament. Still the top of inning number 6. New pitcher for the Calvin Knights. It's number 2, Logan Walker, in relief for Trevor Van Dyne. He comes in, the runner on first and 2 outs. So the Knights trail by a score of 5-3. First pitch fouled off by the third baseman, Danny Carrasco, 0-1.
Walker, one of the better arms out of the Knight bullpen this season. 19 appearances so far. This is his 20th. He's got a 2-6 record, but he does have 3 saves.
Oppel off for second base, and the throw beats him by a countrywide mile. Final out of the inning as Oppel tries to take advantage. And we'll head into the bottom of inning number 6. Calvin with a 5-3 deficit they have to work with. But Cody, if you had a couple more stats, we'll let you finish right there, because I believe Walker will probably come out again.
Well, he's got a little under a 3.64 ERA now. 30 strikeouts to 13 walks, and now a even 30 innings pitched on the year.
We'll see what he does next time out. We'll see how the Hope pitcher Connor Grimes continues his game, and we'll be right back with more MIAA baseball on ACTV. Bottom of inning number 6, 7-8-9 due up for Calvin as they try to chip into this Hope lead, 5-3. That's the catcher Logan Marshall set to lead things off. First pitch from Grimes, low and away for ball 1. Right fielder Oppel tried to steal second base, but was the final out of the inning. Meanwhile, Marshall lines that one into left field for a leadoff single.
All over that curveball, just hanging middle pretty much on the plate. A nice leadoff at bat for the catcher.
Good way for the Knights to start this inning as we head to the later part of the ball game. And it's the second baseman Sam Schellenberg up to bat now. 1 for 2 with the single and a pop out to the shortstop. First pitch from Grimes, fastball high, 1-0. Grimes continues to grind away. 2 early runs given up, but has settled pretty much since then, except now there's another single by Schellenberg into the gap. He's headed for second. It's a double as Marshall holds up at third base. The tying run now in scoring position.
Second straight hanging pitch in this inning. And Schellenberg just all over it. Looked off the bat like Marshall might have had a chance to score, stumbled going around second. So the third base coach had to hold him, but still runners on second and third, no outs. And like you said, the runner out on second is the tying run.
We have a pinch runner now at second base. That's number 1, James Boyce, coming in to run for Schellenberg. And up now with an RBI opportunity and a chance to tie the game, it's the number 9 hitter, right fielder Miles Couperis. 0 for 1 so far. Struck out his last time up as a sacrifice bunt, and he grounds that one to the first baseman Brower. He'll step on first The runners will have to hold. Back to the top of the Calvin Knights lineup. It's designated hitter Nate DeZwan. 2 for 3 so far. 2 singles, a run scored, but struck out looking his last time up. Nine hits for the Knights so far. Four-seamer high, 1-0. This one in the turf. Nice block by Slancic. Runners will hold, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on Nate DeZwan. The 2-0. Ball high, 3 balls and no strikes. Well, Nate DeZwan honored as an all-conference player at the conclusion of the Alma and Adrian game earlier. If you want to see that and all the other players, you can check that out at the end of that broadcast. Meanwhile, DeZwan puts a charge into this one. Right center field, track wall. And a nice running catch by Oppel for out number 2. A late tag at third base by Marshall, but he'll still score. And Calvin now trails by 1. It's 5-3. Meanwhile, the pinch hitter for Schellenberg, James Boyce, still at second base, and some miscommunication there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. The ball, I can understand that they weren't sure if it was going to be caught, but deep enough to where both runners should have tagged. And like you said, Marshall on third, a very, very late break home. So 2 outs now. That one down the line, but foul by the third baseman, Ricky Padilla. So Calvin could have had the tying run 90 feet away. Instead, he still stands at second. And a little extra work now needs to be done. Meanwhile, Hope trying to buckle down and end this inning with the lead still intact. Also, nice play out there by Oppel, able to track it down in right center.
Showing his speed out there. A big guy, but he definitely has some wheels. And don't let that caught stealing fool you. There's a reason he's out in right field. Grimes steps off to recuperate. The 0-1 pitch. Right back up the gut. But Kim positioned perfectly. And it's a hard hit, out number 3. Calvin gets a run back, now trail by 1. And we'll head to the top of inning number 7, 5-4. We'll see how this game unfolds. Another exciting game today. I love day number 2. Don't you touch that clicker, that mouse, or swipe that phone away, because we'll be back with more MIAA tournament action on ACTV. Welcome back to game number 4 of the MIAA baseball tournament. Top of the 7th inning, 5-4 Hope lead as Logan Walker gets back to work for his first full inning. Came in to get the final out of the 6th. It's a ball high to the third baseman, Danny Carrasco. If you remember, the right fielder Mason Oppel caught stealing to end the inning. One ball and one strike on Carrasco. 1 for 3 so far today. Is he able to check that swing? 2 balls and 1 strike. RBI double. Also struck out looking in a fly out to right field. The 2-1 from Walker. Curveball finds the outer half of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it looks like the clouds, this is the sunniest it's been all day. Let's hope it stays for the rest of the day. Looks like we'll have it for a little bit.
Calvin and Hope have been pretty lucky this game with the clouds.
It's a fly ball into right field. Couperis, couple steps to his left, and will make the catch for out number 1. It's the catcher Trey Slancic up to bat now. He's 1 for 2 so far. A single, a hit by pitch. Also scored a run. First pitch from Walker. Takes a little off, but can't find the strike zone. It's 1 ball and no strikes. $11 hits so far for Hope. Hard ground ball, but keen. Routine opportunity. 2 quick outs now for the Knights. Well, whoever wins this ball game will play Alma about half an hour after this one concludes. It says 5 o'clock on the slate, but it depends on when this one ends. Whoever wins that game will then face Adrian tomorrow afternoon, in which one of those 2 teams will be crowned the MIAA champion. Now in the batter's box is the left fielder Jonathan Sojka. 1 for 3 so far. 2 flyouts to left field. Singled his first time up, and he's up in the count now, 2-0. Big hole up the middle. There's a high chopper over to Keene at shortstop. And a close play at first, but they got him by half a step. And the Flying Dutch go down in short order. 1-2-3 inning. We'll head to the 7th inning stretch. We'll see how Calvin responds, but make sure you get up, stretch out your legs and your arms at home. Maybe refresh your beverages, your popcorn. I know we're going to stretch up in the press box. And we'll be right back with more ACTV MIAA baseball. Welcome back to Hope versus Calvin here in the MIAA tournament. Hope with a 5-4 lead. Stretched a little too much. We hope you stretched at home. Maybe refilled your glass of cola, popped some popcorn, maybe threw a couple hot dogs on the grill, or took them off if you were proactive. And we'll head to the later innings of the game. Up right now for Calvin, it's number 3 hitter Jonathan Keene, and now on the mound for Hope as Keene hits that one foul down the left side. It's number 19 Sam Balke, who comes in to relieve Connor Grimes.
Balke has 9 appearances on the year so far, a 4-1 record, 31 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts to 12 walks, and a 6.97 ERA.
He has a 1-run lead to protect, and Calvin hungry. They scored 1 run in the last inning, 1 run in the inning before that, and they inch closer to retaking their early lead. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jonathan Keene, hit by a pitch his last time up. The 2-2. And he goes fishing, but nothing in the pond. It gets away from Slancic. Keene on his way to first, and he is safe. On board via the strikeout, and not the way the Flying Dutch want to start this inning.
Just a tough break there, getting by Slancic. Not able to pick it up at first. By the time he got the throw off, Keene was basically on the bag.
So up now for Calvin is the left fielder Ryan Pena. 0 for 3 so far today, 2 flyouts and a ground out. As that pitch from Balke bounces in for a ball. Third baseman Carrasco now playing in on the grass. Although it's a turf field, so I guess playing in on the differently colored turf. One 1-0 pitch from Balke. That one up the middle, and it's going to fall in front of Mayday for a base hit. Keene coasts into second, and the Knights now have something cooking in the 7th. 2 men on, nobody out. Tying run now on second. Go ahead run on first. First baseman Quinn Heindick up to bat. RBI infield single his last time up. He tries to lay down a bunt, but instead it goes by for strike 1. Carrasco and Bauer playing in, especially Brower. He's about 5 steps in on the grass. Breaks for home, a bunt attempt. That one's popped up on the third base side, a diving attempt. And it's not just an attempt, it's a catch by Carrasco for out number 1. Unbelievable play right there, laying his body on the line, and this is why elimination baseball is so fun.
Yeah, not a great bunt attempt by Heindick. That pitch down and away. Instead of giving with his knees, he tries to stab at it with the bat head, ends up dropping the bat head. And third baseman Carrasco showing off his range. Full extension on that dive. Lucky for Calvin, their 2 base runners able to get back.
That pitch from Balke in the turf. 1-0 on the center fielder, Bo Redfield. 1 for 3 today. RBI single in the first inning, since then a fly out and a ground out to the shortstop. Still 2 men on, 1 out. The pitch. That one fouled off towards the Calvin dugout. And again into the dugout. It looks like I know what Mother's Day presents are coming home with the Calvin Knights.
Well, I don't think they get to keep those baseballs. I think they have to give them back.
Well, it depends on how sneaky you can be. 1 ball, 1 strike on Redfield. That one just a bit low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Just a bit of trivia for you, Robbie. Not that this is the major leagues, but how long do you think the average baseball in a Major League Baseball game lasts before being switched out or fouled out or just leaving the field of play?
I've heard this before. I believe it's about 6 to 7 pitches before it's either thrown out or fouled out.
Yeah, according to a lot of sources, the average Major League Baseball in a baseball game lasts about 7 pitches before it leaves the field of play.
Meanwhile, here in Division III college baseball, I think we get about 6 to 7 balls total, so a little less lenient on what goes in, what goes out. Redfield sends that one to right center field. Mayday makes the catch. As Keene will tag up and head to third. Ball gets away a little bit, but nothing doing. They'll appeal to second base, but they call him safe. 2 outs now and runners in the corners. Coach Stu Fritz going out to have a conversation with the umpire.
Yeah, with the break that Keene got, they think that he left the base before Mayday made the catch out in right center. Up in the booth, it looked like he tagged up after the fact, but Hope thinks that he might have left a little bit too early.
And Coach Fritz will drop his case and head back to the dugout. 2 outs now. Potential tying run 90 feet away. And that's the Knights catcher Logan Marshall, who's looking to make it a tie game, maybe even more, as there's also a runner on first base. It's the left fielder Ryan Pena. First pitch from Balky, curveball in there for strike 1. Marshall 1 for 3 so far, like so many of his other teammates. A single, also scored a run. Popped out to the third baseman and started the game with a fly out to center field. Pickoff move by Balky, but nothing doing for Ryan Pena. The 0-1 pitch. That one fouled back. And some more dirt raining down on us. That is 2 days in a row. Oh yeah, it's on the switcher too. The fun thing about that is that this is an all-turf field, so where that dirt is coming from, we're not sure, but it seems to be raining down on us. Big strikeout for Sam Balky. He tosses him the chair, and the Knights leave the tying run on base. They get a couple on, but a couple of miscues leave them there. And we'll head to the top of the 8th inning. Still a 5-4 Hope lead. It's almost time for elimination. We'll see how this thing ends. Keep it tuned right here for your home of the MIAA tournament. This is ACTV. Top of the 8th inning here at Nicolay Field. 5-4 Hope lead as pitcher Logan Walker toes the rubber and gets back to work. Calvin got the tying and go-ahead run on base, but leave him stranded. They are getting dangerously close to elimination. Up now for Hope, it's number 7 hitter Cal Barrett. 0 for 2 so far today with a strikeout and a pop-out to the catcher. Now in the last inning, there was an incredible play by the third baseman, Danny Carrasco, a diving play in foul territory, but a technicality right there. That was not actually how the batter was out.
No, Heindick was ruled out for stepping on home plate when he bunted that ball.
So nonetheless, an incredible play, but does not get the credit that we gave him. 2-1 right now on Cal Barrett. The pitch from Walker, a high chopper over to the third baseman. Padilla charging, throw, and a nice pick gets the out at first as Heindick and Barrett collide. They're both okay. Scary play right there, though, as the throw takes Heindick into the runner Barrett.
Yeah, and a hard-nosed play by Heindick, deciding to put his body on the line. And an incredibly tough pick, but able to get it and thankfully avoid injury on his behalf and on Barrett's behalf.
The first pitch into center field for a one-out single by the first baseman, Landon Brower. Hope looking to extend their one-run lead. And up now is the second baseman, Brant Kim. 2 for 3 so far, 2 singles, a run scored. Also grounded out to the second baseman, but before that, Coach John Reipel is going to call a mound visit. There is some action in the Calvin bullpen, but I don't think that's what's going to happen right now. Just a quick meeting.
Yeah, 1 out here with the runner on first. Ground ball gets them out of the inning. But as we keep bringing up, this is an elimination game, so whoever scores the least amount of runs in this contest will be sent home. And with Walker on the mound, you do have your best bet in terms of his track record this season, so they rightfully keep him on the bump. It's just a matter of him settling down and getting these next hitters out.
We'll see how long Reipel gives him in this game, how long of a leash I should say. Like you said, best bet for Calvin probably at this point. They trail by 1 run. And a first pitch curveball just a bit below the knees for ball 1. Brower, a 6-step lead over at first base. The pitch, ground ball over to Keene. He'll flip to second for 1. Relay, got him at first. Nice stretch by Heindick. 6-4-3 double play, exactly what the Knights want to see. And we'll head to the bottom of the 8th, still 5-4. And we'll see if Calvin can finally tie this thing up or more. You think they can do it? We'll find out next on ACTV.
Jeremy Clark is the pinch hitter. So we get set in the bottom half of the 8th. Robbie turned my mic on a little too soon.
I probably should have told you that I was going to let our PA announcer, Dave Van Giesen, announce that for us. But instead, it's just a blooper reel moment.
Anyways, Clark batting for boys. 8-9-1 due up for Calvin.
And Clark sends that one into center field. Leadoff single as Mayday has trouble with it. Able to get it in, though. No damage. And once again, the tying run on base. We'll have a pinch runner for Clark. And if you heard that, it's number 7, Kyle Houts. Now pinch running for Clark, who was pinch hitting for Schellenberg. And a mound visit for Hope. Looks like they're going to go to their bullpen. And in fact, they are. So we'll take a quick break, let this mystery man warm up, find out who he is, where he's from, and what he's all about. And we'll be right back with more MIAA Tournament Baseball here on ACTV. It's number 5, C.J. Ottman, now pitching as Hope brings in their closer, looking for the 6-out save as they have a 1-run advantage over the Calvin Knights, 5-4. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, man on first base, Kyle Houts pinch running after a leadoff Clark single. So the tying run now on base. And up to bat for the Knights, it's the right fielder, Miles Couperis. First pitch, a bunt, pops it up over the stadium for strike one. And we have not seen many successful bunts in the later part of this game.
Just like Heindick did earlier in the game, although he stepped on the plate. Couperis tried to stab at that one, only able to foul it back.
0-1 now on Couperis. Pitch from Ottman, shows bunt again. This one on the third base line. Carrasco is charging, but he'll let it go foul. Couperis now in the hole, 0-2. As Houts retreats back to first base.
A smart play there by Carrasco. We'll see if it plays out. They can get Couperis out and leave the pinch runner Houts over on first. I think we can call that a smart play.
We'll see if it worked out.
Because they say hindsight is 20/20.
Couperis will foul that one off to stay alive. Is there something better than 20/20 though? Or is 20/20 the best you can get?
We might have to ask our optometrist.
Pickoff move to first. I was about to drop his name. Honestly, cannot remember his name right now.
Dr. McDowell?
Yes. Shout out to Dr. McDowell.
I don't think I can say much about eye vision considering I'm wearing my glasses right now.
Mine are in my backpack. Ball outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You went with your sunglasses today, even though we're in a shaded booth.
But my future's so bright, I have to wear shades. You walked right into that one, too.
I did.
A 1-2 pitch. That one fouled into the netting. No flinches on the left side of the press box. I was really looking forward to writing somebody down in the flinch game. We'll get them eventually. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Couperis. Outs, 5-step lead off of first base. Pitch from Ottoman. And a high cheddar. Tries to get it, but the trap snap shut for out number 1.
Well, Ottman came into this contest with 20 prior appearances, a 2-3 record, coming in with 4 saves, 29 2/3 innings pitched, a 2.73 ERA, 15 walks, and now 29 strikeouts.
So now it's the top of the lineup, designated hitter Nate Deswan up to bat. Still a runner on first base. Deswan 2 for 3 so far today. 2 singles, a run scored, a strikeout. His last time up, an RBI fly out to the right fielder. Fouls that one back towards US 223. Count now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Calvin, some action brewing in their bullpen. It looks like the Alma Scots have arrived back to the Adrian Athletic Complex. Taking in the rest of this game, of course, whoever wins this contest will play Alma immediately following the game. And when I say immediately, I mean about half an hour after the game. He gets that one into right field, a base hit. Houts hits the bag at second and will slow up. And once again, the Knights have something cooking. Runners on first and second with only 1 out.
It's the 3rd hit of the day for Deswan. All 3 hard hit.
So I'll bring up the third baseman, Ricky Padilla. He's 2 for 4 so far today. 2 singles, 2 runs scored. Also was a fly out and lined out to the second baseman his last time up on a hard hit ball, but Kim was shaded perfectly. This time he rolls over on a ground ball to third base. He'll go to second for 1. That is all he will get. So it seems like this is becoming the trend of the ball game. Calvin, runners on the corners, 2 outs. Potential tying run 90 feet away. And it's their number 3 hitter, Jonathan Keene, with a chance to make things a little more interesting.
They've struggled with runners on all day. 9 left on base up to this point. So they have had their fair share of opportunities, just unable to cash in.
First pitch from Ottman to Keene hangs high for ball 1. Keene, last at bat, he struck out but got on base on the pass ball by Slancic. He also was hit by a pitch, a single and an RBI his first time up, and is grounded out to the shortstop Fairchild. The 1-0 pitch. Big cut there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Coming into today, the Knights only walked a collective 95 times on the season. So a free swinging team. They're going to have to put together some patient at-bats here if they hope to tie the game.
Instead, Keene fooled badly on that changeup, and he's now in the hole. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Calvin, 12 hits on the afternoon so far, same as Hope, and they would love to get number 13 right here. Payoff pitch from Ottman, rings him up looking. Strike 3, and again, the Knights leave the tying man on base, and we'll head to the top of the 9th inning as the Hope Flying Dutch hold on to that 1-run lead. It is 5-4. We'll see if they can score some insurance runs, and we'll be back right after this on ACTV. Top of the 9th inning here in game number 4. Winner moves on, loser goes home. It is a 5-4 Hope lead as they look for some insurance runs right now. Top of the order due up is the center fielder Evan MIAA. Takes a ball, it's 1-0. Now playing second base for the Calvin Knights, it's Joey Lapidi. Looking to add some defensive charge to the lineup as MIAA sends a chopper over to first. It was foul, and Heindick ran into the first base umpire, Arthur Castillo. Is apparently over at first base is a football field today because we've seen a couple of hard hits.
Luckily, everybody okay, though, in each situation.
The 1-1 pitch. Curveball can't snap it off, though, and it's 2-1. Pitch from Walker. This one snaps and finds the bottom of the strike zone. It's knotted up at 2. Payoff pitch from Logan Walker. It's a hard line drive into the diving glove of Lapidi, but he throws it away. Heindick unable to stay on the bag. Almost a great play, but instead, it's a runner on first with nobody out.
It's a dazzling stop, like you said, by Lapidi. Almost finished off the web gem, but just unable to make the throw. Tough break there for Calvin.
So up now is the shortstop Jordan Fairchild. He's 2 for 4 so far today, 2 singles and RBI, and he pops that one up into the glove of the catcher Marshall for out number 1. And Cody, you have your hand on your forehead right now.
Just not the greatest bunt attempt by Fairchild. We saw it a couple times by Calvin. Now we see it again, this time with Fairchild. Just drops the bat head at the last second, and like I always say, when you drop the bat head on a bunt attempt, bad things happen. Just pops it right up in front of the plate, and the catcher Marshall puts it away.
So 1 out now, still a runner on first, and we move into the heart of the Flying Dutch order. Right now it's the right fielder Mason Oppel,
which has been brought to our attention that Oppel is actually the quarterback for the Hope football team. So a multi-sport athlete. And to answer our previous question, he is 6'2", 236 pounds.
So I wasn't wrong.
You were not wrong.
Well, he currently has a 1-1 count on him so far. 2 singles and an RBI to his credit today. All 4 at-bats have ended in hard hit balls as Mayday heads to second. Throw from Marshall beats him, but he gets under the tag. The Dutch now have an insurance run in scoring position.
Yeah, it looks like the throw had him, but Mayday slides to the back of the bag to avoid the tag. And a nice job by the center fielder.
So Appel now with a chance at RBI number 2. Pitch from Walker outside as it peruses across the left-hander's batter's box. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Soft tap over to third base. Padilla has it, makes the throw on to first. Mayday heads to third base. I almost said Mayfield. Mayday heads to third base, and great base running right there. 2 outs, but a man now 90 feet away.
Talking about Appel playing football, being a quarterback. Must have had quarterbacks on the brain there.
I guess he is a quarterback. Are you talking about Baker Mayfield?
I am talking about Baker Mayfield.
Nonetheless, Logan Walker's day is done. We'll let the new Calvin Knights pitcher come in. We'll find out what his name is, what the mystery man's all about. Give him a chance to warm up. But before we go, just a quick note that play that allowed Evan Mayday to get on first base. The nice play, but the unfinished throw, that was ruled a single. So mark it up, number 13 in the hits category for the Flying Dutch. So it was not a error because it was a hard play. And we'll head to a quick break right now as the mystery man warms up. And we'll see how game number 4 ends and who will be sent packing right after this on ACTV. Now pitching for the Calvin Knights, it's number 24, Clay Francisco. As he tries to prevent that insurance run from coming in. It's the third baseman, Danny Carrasco, fouls that first one off. 0-1. 2 outs right now. Man on third base. 5-4 Hope lead in this elimination game. "13 hits for the Flying Dutch, 12 for the Calvin Knights." The pitch from Francisco at the knees and on the outer half of the plate. Carrasco down in the count now, 0-2.
Francisco a starter for Calvin, so definitely pulling out a big arm here in the late inning.
And that one just low, gets away from the catcher Marshall. Manages to bounce around off him and the home plate umpire Farwig. So MIAA will have to hold at third base. 1-2 is the count.
Francisco, 41 strikeouts in 54 innings pitched. Also owns a 5.67 ERA.
1-2 from Francisco. Low and outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Clay Francisco steps off to regroup. The 2-2 to Carrasco. And he goes fishing, but nothing in the pond. And MIAA will be stranded at third base. Last call for the Calvin Knights bats. They trail by 1. And they are on the verge of elimination. We'll see how this one ends. Keep it tuned right here to the MIAA tournament here on ACTV. Time to pay the piper if you're the Calvin Knights. They trail by 1 here in the bottom of the 9th inning, 5-4. And Flying Dutch closer CJ Ottman looking to put the final nail in the coffin and send these Calvin Knights packing. The high fly ball into the corner, but that's going to be foul off the bat of the left fielder Ryan Pena. 4-5-6 due up for the Knights. Pena 1 for 4 so far today. Singled his last time up. So watch a ball in the left-hander's batter's box. 1-1. Besides that single, had a ground out to the first baseman and 2 flyouts. 1 to the center fielder and 1 to the right fielder, Oppel. Rolls over on that outside curveball. Routine for Carrasco, and there's 1 down here in the bottom of the 9th. Up now for the Calvin Knights, it's the first baseman, Quinn Heindick. Popped up a sacrifice bunt attempt his last time up, but in fact it was him stepping on home plate that caused the out. Other than that, an RBI single, a ground out, and a pop out. First offering from Ottman. That one finds the outer black for strike 1. The 0-1. That one floats in as he's not able to find the strike zone on that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. No wiggle room for the Flying Dutch as they hold on to this 1-run lead. Heindick rolls that one foul on the first base side. Crowds on their feet here at the Nick. The 1-2 from Ottman. Bends out of the way. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Third baseman Carrasco shaded over to the right side as Heindick stays alive with that foul ball. The 2-2. High pop-up on the left side of the infield. Carrasco settles it into his glove. And the Calvin Knights now 1 out away from being eliminated. You heard PA announcer Dave Van Giesen right there. Bo Redfield holds the Calvin Knights season in his hands right now, just trying anything he can to keep this game going. And he hits a fly ball into center field. Mayday tracks it, and he will settle it into his glove. The Hope Flying Dutch live to play another game, and the Calvin Knights 2018 season is officially over. Hope takes it by a score of 5-4. And another nail-biting game here on day 2. Nitty-gritty game on both sides. A well-deserved win for Hope, and Calvin, you can't say that they didn't go down fighting.
No, a nice year for the Calvin Knights, a nice showing here in the tournament. Just couldn't get it done this afternoon, but nothing to hang their heads about. A solid season by the Knights.
And congratulations to Calvin for all the success they had for this past season. We wish them luck heading into next season. For Hope, we wish you luck as you play Alma. That game is coming up next, slated for 5 o'clock. That's in about 10 minutes. So we'll probably be closer to 5:20-ish. So just keep it tuned right here to ACTV. Now, as we said, the Knights are eliminated. This next game, whoever wins that will play Adrian in the final tomorrow at 12. Whoever loses this next game will officially be eliminated as well. So Hope not out of the weeds yet. And for tomorrow's game, if Adrian wins at noon, they are the MIAA Kings. But if they lose, they will have to play again at 3 o'clock. And whoever wins that game will be the MIAA champion. But once again, congrats to Calvin on a successful season. We wish them a safe trip home. And up next, it's going to be the Alma Scots against the Hope Flying Dutch. This has been Robbie Alexander with my colleague Cody Alexander. Make sure to always keep it tuned right here for MIAA tournament action on ACTV.